Hello, and welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. We're so glad you could attend. Come inside, come inside. We kind of will.
That was out of left field, yeah. Like, oh yeah, I got an intro that's not related to anything we'll be fucking doing today. Yeah, you were right. You were definitely right. Also, Pigman.
Yeah.
He's the Pig Knight.
I think that sometimes we just got to do that. We got to go with intros that have nothing to do with anything. Because the
Hello,
difficulty with
ladies.
streaming is sometimes it's like, well, the stream ended halfway through a quest line. This stream's gonna start halfway through a quest line. We're kind of just in a field.
Hey, dog.
There's not a lot to joke about.
Yeah, there really
Or
isn't.
It's just like, or it's just the same jokes about the system, and like I gotta save those for stream, otherwise I got nothing.
Yeah. You know. Welcome back to Basically Bezos. I have more money than sense again. So I figured today we need to impress Reaver for our main quest line, the Hero of Skill. And we could do one quest and get that accomplished. Quite easy.
We can't go over and be like, I literally own all property that I have seen.
Yeah, no, not allowed. Not allowed. So I figured we would take care of some things and just kind of do our quest lines. A bunch of quests, just knock them out of the park, see how they go. And maybe we'll get on that Fable 2 leaderboard.
I don't know about the idea of like doing the quests the game gave us. That might not be the best idea.
Yeah, maybe we just Skyrim this and instead spend the next 10 hours climbing a mountain.
See, that's why at some point I want to try and play Oblivion on this channel. Not Skyrim, but like specifically Oblivion or even Morrowind. Because like, it's fun to go from plot point to plot point. I like it more when the plot point can be look at this thing.
Yeah, look at this dang ass dang. So we're gonna be doing a quest line called Love Hurts, which is pretty fucking fantastic.
Doing absolutely nothing abnormal.
All right, so either
Go away. Unless, yeah.
oh, there we go.
How would you like to assist in this century's most important scientific?
So just let me know when this hits yikes, Will.
Very important stuff. All you have to do is collect a few precious bits of core. What I meant to say is some totally above board and non-creepy gathering of various anatomical specimens.
Is this going to be like Herbert West Reanimator, where just like, it's like, well, do you want to rob a grave? And they just open with that, and then it becomes less and less grave robbing?
No. This gets more and more grave robbing.
Oh, good. Good. Your first, scientific expedition is to Rockridge. There should be a fine body part hidden away.
I don't like the way he said fine. Fine. It's like he just sniffed someone's hair.
I don't like the lack of specificity where he said body part. Like, are you not going to tell us? Is it going to be obvious when we get there? Like, if I can go into a cave and find a fresh body part, I presume it's like a mortuary where I'm going to need some assistance in figuring out what it is. Or is it just like you're going to go in and there's a little glass box and it's like, this is Jeff's elbow, not including hand.
I have a feeling that it's more of a you'll know it when you see it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's just one of those things of just like, oh yeah, that's what he wants. That's what he wants. All right, dog, Rufus.
It's difficult in Fable getting involved with like morally ambiguous quests because there isn't any moral ambiguity. Anyone evil is like
Comically evil.
Hello. I have a friend in a cave. Yes, a friend in a cave who's very hungry. Will you help me feed him?
and you're just like, I guess so.
In fairness, you did describe 2 quests. Both the one with the Balverines and literally this hob cave with that one dude who was like one of the hobs.
Mm-hmm. Hello. I
Hello.
need you to find me the sacred wine. It's in this guy's house. It's okay to go in, but we're playing a game, so you have to hide.
Yeah, that pretty much perfectly describes all of that. That just describes the morality system of Fable right there.
And that's why I liked playing New Vegas, and I didn't want to do 3. Because New Vegas at least gives you comedy, or it tries to bamboozle you, or like it isn't that obvious, or it's super obvious, but you're like, oh, I have to know where this goes.
Yeah, it's like, tell me where this goes. I need to see the end result, which is a fucking dog's head on a gun.
Yeah. Whereas like Fallout 3 versus New Vegas is this kind of stuff where it's like, oh, would you like to engage in unlimited charity and volunteer work and literally spend your own money trying to help this town with literally every problem it has? Or do you want to blow it up with a nuke just because you can?
Usually I'll go with the nuke. I'm gonna be real on that one. Fuck those people.
It destroys the entire town, except for one person who is a quest giver who's now very angry with you, but we all make mistakes.
He can be convinced. I heard a gargoyle, and I'm curious as to where it is. But I don't hear it anymore.
So like,
somewhere there.
Fallout 3 was Todd Howard
Yeah.
and Bethesda.
Uh-huh.
Fallout 4 was Todd Howard and Bethesda.
And it just worked.
It just worked. And I don't know if 76 has an actual plot. I'm pretty sure it doesn't.
I think there's a storyline, but I don't think there's anything you would consider a wholehearted plot. Ah, there you are, you bastard.
I'm trying to think of if there is a Todd Howard / Bethesda led Fallout game that does not involve main character daddy issues. Because like if it happens again, that's 3 times. That means Todd Howard should spend his money on therapy and not ruining a series.
Well, I mean, he's not the writer. He is the one that greenlit that tomfuckery, though, so...
See, that's the thing, though. People will be like, oh, they're producers. They're a production company. They're not writers. It's like, you don't have to be a writer.
Yeah.
You can just wait for the writers to get back to you, shit on all their ideas, tell them what you want, and then refuse to accept anything that isn't that.
Yeah.
It's totalitarian, but it's what they teach you in some business schools.
So I think we found it, Will. Behold, Lady Grey's lower body. Look at those thighs. Mmm.
Did they have her?
So, on the spot, the witch spotters of Albion did bury the lower limbs of one Lady Grey, formerly mayor of Bowerstone, and certified enchantress and seductress. We lost 2 of our members to surprise hob attacks as we explored the deepest corridors of this cave. The names of these men shall always be remembered, just as soon as we've washed off the hob dung, under which we buried a piece of the foul witch. Never shall she rise again. So, it turns out Lady Grey was a witch.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Really? Well, at least, you know, witch in heavy quotations. We're in a world of magic, so being called a witch isn't too surprising. Like,
To be fair, we've met several witches, and
Yeah.
all of them seem to be up to no good.
I mean, we could have been a witch. Well,
Even Teresa.
technically we are a witch because witch is a gender neutral. It just became gendered. It started out as a gender neutral, and warlock took its place for whatever reason.
Yeah, there's a lot of different etymologies around that. Like there's what was it? There's sorceress, which is the first word, and then
Yeah.
sorcerer came later for a male sorceress. Because I mean, not to get political, but like literally almost all the witch hunts were just like a reactionary movement to purge
Yeah.
people out of town. They're like, oh, it's witches.
Oh yeah.
You just have to look at the crimes, and it's like, oh, he was.
Or look at the accusers. It's like, yes, it was the neighbor's child. It's like, I'm sorry, what?
My favorite thing is when like you look at the accounts and
That
basically
hob just jumped into a pit.
like the crimes are like this person was wearing a dress alone in their house, and then I came in and I kissed them because they bewitched me, which is why they are a witch.
Yeah, that sounds very accurate to witchcraft. Like fucking Pendleton. like let's forget about Salem's tomfuckery for a moment here, because I don't feel like Pendleton gets enough credit for the tomfuckery it caused.
Yeah, and we need to talk about that because it took me a second to remember. Then going, oh my god, Pendleton, the one with the kid who accused like 20 people.
Yeah.
And then you look into it, and the kid was like 6, and then basically like would listen to whatever the adults were saying, and then play a fun game where the kid would point, and you know, a 6-year-old doesn't realize, oh, all of these people are going to be brutally tortured and executed.
Yeah.
So this one kid, like, was basically just like, la 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 la, time for you to die, la 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 la, and now you die.
Yeah. And the best part, that kid grew up, got married, moved to a different town, and got tried as a witch.
I know.
like I cannot think of the ultimate karmic retribution, even though 6-year-old child, I know, but come on. Come the fuck on that one. Like, the tomfuckery around that is insane.
It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, I love everything about that. Learning about that in, like, an academic course was one of the greatest fucking things ever. I fucking loved that. Just having to listen to a teacher, like a professor, someone who studies this, just be like, look, humans are kind of trash, and, turns out, when we're angry, we can be real fucking angry.
I love when you watch, like, the narrative of each individual witch hunt, like, over time.
Oh, they're great.
Because, like, there's a plot. Every witch hunt has the same plot. And, like, it basically is this big acceleration, but, like, one person sees if they can get away with, like... And the frustrating thing is that it's always people going, oh, you know, this is a witch hunt, this is a witch hunt, when they're the people who would have 100% been the witch accusers.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Like,
yeah.
And it's exactly that. It's just like, oh, well, you know, with Salem, like, the one person who was tried, it's like, she was the first one to be tried because she was the only black person there, and they're like, well, the witchcraft had to come from somewhere. And, like, half the time, it'll be one of those things where it's like, people will be like, she's a witch, and then people will be like, I don't know, and it's like, she kissed another girl, and they're like, you're right, that is magic.
And I heard she liked it.
And then it's like, it basically accelerates. They get rid of everyone they don't like, and then they start getting rid of each other, and then eventually, like, half the town is dead, and then all the survivors are like, we got them, boys.
We have just enough people left to repopulate. We got them.
Well, a bit of her anyway. She lived a long time ago, an awful, barbaric time, and she was the mayor of Bowerstone.
He called the first game a barbaric time
They didn't like her very
compared to compared to this society, I guess.
Wonderful person she really was.
I think my favorite historical witch hunt was the one that happened with the 80s around D&D.
Oh god, yeah, the D&D.
Then they buried her
Oh,
body in 3 different places.
with starring Tom Hanks.
But let's not waste time on such
Well, because like
details.
the whole Satanic Panic was like a bigger thing.
Yeah,
than
yeah, that was a
So
much
it's like-
bigger thing.
So there was that. There was
It's
like
the microcosm of
preschools.
D&D in there that was just, oh, so good.
It's just one of those things where it's like all it takes is you being on the side where you can see that this is a lie, and then it starts to become funnier and funnier because they're like this satanic book, and you're like, oh, okay, Dungeons and Dragons, and they're like, oh, is it satanic because of the demons? And they're like, it contains demons in this monstrous manual. You're like, okay, and it's like which the players can summon, and you're like, "What? It's not the whole point of the game. It's like a minor mechanic, but okay. And it's like, and they can cast spells, and it's like, well, if you're a spellcaster class, then yeah, you can cast spells, and it's like on each other, and it's like, well, PvP isn't really.
PvP is something
But
that
you-
should be discussed with the rest of the group, you know, make sure everyone's okay with it.
And it's like it builds and builds, and they're led by a dungeon master, and you'll be like,
Yeah, that is a
and I don't-
stupid name.
I don't insist on being called that. It's just the name for what the thing I do at the table.
in general, people just go by Game Master nowadays.
Yeah, because it's not even because people prefer Game Master. It's because D&D fucking started suing people over it.
Yeah, like in other campaigns or like other systems, you couldn't be a dungeon master.
Well, to be fair, I shouldn't be saying D&D was suing people. I'm pretty sure it was like Hasbro when they bought it. You know.
Fair enough. Okay, so we need to travel around Wraithmarsh
Ooh.
for
Maybe we'll
for
see some
for the
witches.
next part of Lady Grey.
I mean, do we intend on completing this quest?
Oh, I intend on completing this quest because
Yeah,
I
let's
think
do
it's
it.
fucking hilarious. You know how we cucked a ghost?
Mhm.
You want to cuck a really sad dude?
Do we have to fuck a corpse?
No comment. No comment on that. Yep, absolutely no comment.
But then we'll just be the sad dude.
Sad dude with 2 wives.
That's true. One for each type of alive.
Look, we can put her in Old Bowerstone. She'll be right at home.
Yeah, and then if we ever find out that there's a way to make people double alive or like super dead,
Then we have both of it, really. We have
Mhm.
all of our bases covered.
everyone knows it's okay to cheat if they're dead. Like the person you're cheating with, not the person you're cheating on.
Obviously. There's some fighting going on down there. Oh, they sent stuff up to me. Hello.
Hi, Mr. Man. How are you?
Ow. That hurt. Wow, you are very much alive. Ow. Fuck off. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna walk away from you. I don't really want to deal with him.
It's a straying boy.
He's a very straying boy. And Doggo says there's more enemies up ahead. Hi,
I'm going
enemies.
through like maps in a bunch of different games and trying to figure out if they actually form some kind of structure or complex that makes sense, or if they're actually just like tunnels and rooms for the sake of there being tunnels.
Well,
and
the
rooms.
original one actually, like this map right here, references Oakvale, like the original Oakvale town, and this, I believe, references the old graveyard, or not graveyard, the bandit camp,
Ah,
as it changed and formed over time.
it's interesting.
Because it seems like the bandit camp actually got somewhere at some point with their banditry. I already opened that one.
They managed to sell their houses and move away from the rising wetlands.
Yeah, apparently. Well, they were already pretty high up, so, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if the bandit camp was actually the area that was unaffected by the flooding.
Is that a Hans?
A what?
It's big Hans.
It is a big Hans. Big old Hans statue. This isn't ominous at all. Like, who designed this bridge and was just like, yeah, this isn't going to be ominous. This is going to be fine.
I love that there's basically a period in, like, North American colonial history for, like, 100 straight years where everyone was like, well, they're graves. We're supposed to make them spooky. So, like, you look and, like, any graveyard over a certain age has a section that's like, that's a skull, that's a skull, this is a bunch of skulls, that looks like a dead child, this is a Grim Reaper, like...
Yeah, this is a very sad infant, like...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were really depressing.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of weird that no enemies are spawning now. I'm a little put on edge by it.
You think you're going to go into a graveyard and it's going to be like a video game where it's like, wow, a secret, or it's going to be like, wow, I learned something about this town's history, but the only thing you learn is like how staggeringly high infant mortality was 100 years ago.
Yeah, pretty much. Alright, there's a bunch of Skelly-mans running at me. And there's that guy down there. Hey, how come you didn't get hit? Oh, that's not what I wanted. Nope, that's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted. This isn't what I want. This isn't what I want.
I didn't want to press taunt.
What's going on? I'm not even attacking. I'm just trying to dodge. They're hitting each other.
Oh, that's so satisfying.
That was very satisfying.
Oh, like bubble wrap.
Yeah.
There's so many boobles.
Okay. That got a little chaotic. A little bit hectic. We got through it.
That got a little too hot for these pants.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to oversell it or, you know, be an alarmist, but we might, at this point in the game, want to develop any kind of strategy. I know we didn't need one last game.
What do you mean we didn't need one last game? I had to work hard to survive in the last game.
To be fair, I was just watching you succeed at surviving, so like...
Yeah. Like, admittedly, yes, this game, way easier. Way fucking easier. But also, this game doesn't have a hard mode that we're all of a sudden playing on for the first fucking time. That honestly started stressing me out the first stream that we did with Fable, and I was dying to, like, bandits. I was like, oh, fuck. Because I was planning on doing what we were doing here and, like, not giving a shit about toughness at all. Like, not giving a shit about physique at all. And was just gonna go with it, you know? But, like, nope. So hard nope. What the hell is this way? I'm curious. Oh. Some sad graves.
Ooh.
Unknown traitor perished in the bandit attack. Here lies the charred remains of an Oakvale villager. Brahm perished in the bandit attack. This is our first character's dad.
Ah.
That's Fable 1 dad. And here lies Rosie, a teddy bear.
It's gotta hurt being buried 2 graves away without a name on your grave next to a literal teddy bear with a name.
Yeah, that's gotta hurt just a little bit.
Also, like, if you've got a
there.
bunch of people who you haven't been able to identify or name event, you just put up one big one?
Yeah. Here, like,
and then you say, like, memorial
to the people who perished in the bandit attack, you know? Stuff like that.
It's about saving space.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, I hate to say it, but like this graveyard would have so many bodies like actively sticking out.
Oh
It's
yeah.
half submerged and no one's maintaining it. Like,
Oh yeah. This is 100% Lord of the Rings. Hey, oh, go away. Fuck up. Fuck up. Ow.
apparently, some places like in Florida and Louisiana and stuff, this is the shit that they have to deal with in graveyards. Not, undead.
Yeah. I would fucking hope so. You never know. It's New Orleans. They got the voodoo
Yeah.
down there. Oh god. That would be
Holy
great.
shit! That reminds me of the, you know about the Tumblr Bone Witch, right?
Not really. I'm not very active in the Tumblr sphere. You'd have to remind me. It does ring a bell, but it's not triggering anything for me.
Okay, so this is old Tumblr, and it'll show you something that is really key to Tumblr that I don't think people picked up on back then, but it's like there's a very people have strong opinions when they shouldn't and no opinions when they should. So there's someone talking about witchcraft as you do on Tumblr.
As you do.
It's like,
It's Tumblr, yeah.
yeah, and someone's like, "Oh, where can I get bones?" And people are responding, like there are people who do that stuff, right?
Yeah.
And like if you live out in the country, especially like I know that we might have people listening who are like from the US where there's still a lot of space, but in Canada especially there's a lot of space that's like dense pine woods that not a lot of people have gone through. So like honestly, if you want bones,
You could find bones.
yeah. If anything, what a lot of people were saying, they're like, no, yeah, talk to a hunter, see if they can bring stuff back for you. They find stuff constantly. Like, there's a reason that half the time cold cases are solved by hunters. It's because, like, who else is going to be walking in a straight line in this section of forest looking at the ground really intently?
Yeah. Yeah, that makes
then-
that makes a lot of sense.
And then this person was talking about human bones, and then people are like, that's unorthodox, but, like, this is something that's been done on the internet before. Like, there's people who will be like, oh, I have to have my foot removed. I'll send you the bones. There's even a story of someone who, like, had to have a toe removed and sent it to someone else to turn it into, like, a piece of jewelry, right? People will do this stuff. And sometimes it's just kind of ick, but, like, the ethics of it are fine.
Yeah,
Like-
it's the ethics make sense, but it's still disgusting that we need it to happen.
Yeah. But this one, basically, like, it's one of those things where there's so much precedent for that when this person goes, oh, what about human bones? Nobody says much. And then someone chimes in talking about, like, like, I've used bones before. Like, it's all about, like, making sure you know where to get them.
Yeah.
And it turns out, and people were really mad about this, because, like, I'm not, like, a practitioner or anything, but I love looking into this kind of stuff and learning about practices, because, like, it's relevant in weird ways, the same way that stuff like learning runes is relevant. Like, you start to see stuff in movies and TV shows, sometimes for the funny, sometimes for the interesting.
Yeah.
This person, very important, was white, lived in New Orleans, and for her magic, was stealing bones from, like, basically like a charity graveyard for impoverished black people, like a really, really old one, and basically everyone there was like, hey, why, not even as a person, but as a witch who thinks that you can pull off all this magic stuff, why would you steal those bones?
Yeah, it seems like the kind of thing that, like, if you believe in the magics and all this stuff and the power of spirits and all that, they're just gonna come back and be like, yo, what the fuck did you just do?
Like, what the fuck?
Hi, Satan.
Just unbelievable shit.
Okay, before we go further, we have a lot of XP to invest. And so I kind of want to get another toughness, because why not? And then we can't afford the last toughness. But we have a lot of will experience.
Mhm.
Like you have quite a few years of will experience.
I do. I do.
So
I use Raise Dead every morning.
so we have a lot of shit that we could choose from. Force Push is maxed out. What would you like to get instead?
Oh, that's a good question. Do we get time control just to be the ultimate, like, shitter?
I think we kind of do.
Yeah, let's do it. Oh my god, we can buy so much of it. It's level
There we
1.
go. I'm trying not to use our general XP because I want to use our general XP for other stuff. But we do have it at level 4 now. Or we have it at level 3 and oh no. Wait, it says okay, that's just what it is. Yeah, we have it at level 3. We could get it to level 4.
We can almost afford level 4. We are so close.
Yeah, so I think we just let it ride. But then we also have the spell selector. And I don't typically use that, so I think I don't typically use tier 1. So I think we just use that. And we just call that done.
Yeah.
So now if we... Oh, fuck it. It goes through that quickly. Damn it. Wait, does this mean I can, like... So now our basic womp is now us teleporting around the battlefield.
Nothing personnel, kid.
Yep. Okay. He wants us to... Social? Where's that chicken dance? Rude.
Flirty?
Chicken. Hey! Rude! Ow! What? I do like being able to quick cast time to get the even more powerful.
It's funny that right after we get the time spell, we start getting faster enemies.
Yeah, that is pretty great. Was there a way around here? What is this way?
Given the surrounding area, I feel like that low point would just have like a layer of bones in the water.
Yeah. Honestly, I agree.
They would all kind of flow downhill.
Oh, hello.
Right! That's the whole reason I was bringing that up in response to this level. The person's first choice for justification for the behavior was, well, they're just washing up at the edge of the graveyard. It's fine. I don't even know whose bones they are.
That's still a little bit fucked. Like, it's still not okay there, Chief.
It's not grave robbing if you don't have to dig.
I mean, I guess?
And that's the wild thing with so much of, like, not even early Tumblr, even just, like, current Tumblr. And I mean, I don't want to say that this is like, oh yeah, it's the Swidges. It's just, like, it's a lot of young people who have strong feelings and haven't really tested them out.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a really common thing for people of any political or philosophical persuasion. Like, when you're young, you start trying out ideas, and it's a normal thing to, like, espouse an idea even though you're not super sure about it, to see what happens, even if it's not something people realize they're doing. Like, you want to put something up to scrutiny before you believe it.
Yeah. You got to test the
so,
waters. See how people are going.
And Tumblr is full of so many tests. Like the Hatsune Miku binder thing, where people are just like, hey, I know this seems like a fun thing, but this guy had slaves. This guy had slaves.
Yeah.
Don't make him an OC. He's a living person who had slaves. Like, you can be like, this person was important to history and had these roles. You can be like, this is an entire work that does this with like a bunch of people from this period, and it's partially critique. Okay, but just being like, who was it? Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, one of them. But it was someone just being like, "This is my Hamilton OC."
Yeah, the Hamilton OC was Jefferson, and it was like they made Jefferson trans and also like basically looking the exact same as Daveed Diggs, but in like 70s hippie apparel.
Yeah.
Like looking like they were something at a Jesus Christ Superstar.
Yeah. And it's funny watching Tumblr make fun of Reddit and Reddit make fun of Tumblr when they're the same people.
Yeah.
You're just a recolored sprite. Like, Tumblr is out there doing like Me Too Binder Jefferson, but Reddit, you're the ones who are constantly going, it's not pedophilia, it's a phebophilia, it's different. You're not better, you're worse.
Yeah. Honestly, they're all kind of degenerate trash, let's be real here.
Here's a fun little rule of thumb that you can take with you anywhere you go, and it's a fun test. If you have to describe why it is technically not pedophilia, it's pedophilia.
Hate to break it to you, bud.
That's the difficulty with the internet too, is it's like, if 1 in 100,000 people holds an opinion, and you have a site with 100,000 people in it, you're probably gonna come across that opinion. And when a lot of people come in and comment to downvote it, usually more people see the opinion.
Yeah. Oh, that's on fire. Good thing we have fast mode.
Yeah. Dog?
Dog, you're an idiot.
I don't think that it means that you shouldn't have opinions about shit, though.
Oh,
it's
God,
just
no.
almost like, it's like a humility lesson of like, you will be that person.
At some
probably
point
have
in your
already-
life, you will be a person who has a bad opinion.
And it's probably when you think you're not that person, it's almost definitely gonna be when you're really, really confident in your opinion.
Yeah.
It's probably already been you, and if it happened before,
I'll never forget my moment. I ardently defended Mass Effect Andromeda.
See, I was not expecting that. If you had immediately gone to me and been like, you had any moments like that, I was going to be like, oh yeah, I was racist to someone in a break room once. It was super not okay.
Oh, yeah, I've probably done that too. The thing is, I just don't remember it. I've blocked it as, like, that was me in my edgier phase. I'm a better human being.
Guys, I'm not being racist. I'm making fun of a homophobic hate preacher using a loud and obnoxious accent.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now I know to make fun of different people using loud and obnoxious accents. See, I've grown.
Yeah, you play Bloodwine. Okay. Any enemies here? More people to kill?
Oh. He's
What?
down, but not out.
He's not out. No. He's very much enjoying his life on the ground, though.
There is something that feels really violent about casting spells at these people and having them, like, mash out red orbs.
Yeah.
It's like when something PG-13 uses, like, black blood or blue blood. It's like,
We know what's
really
going on.
helping?
We know what's happening here.
The one thing that pisses me off, mostly because I like seeing good action in movies, and when you see good action in movies, it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's like, it's something that action movies have honestly been doing for like 2 decades, nonstop. And Marvel is not the first to do it, but they're notorious for it. It's like consequence-free, bloodless whack fighting.
Yeah. God, yeah.
And like there's 2 parts of it. One of them is just this thing where it's like you cut whenever the actual hit happens, so you never actually see anybody swing. These people are kind of just going meh in midair.
Yeah, they're pretty trash. All right, we have Lady Grey's torso. So on this spot, the Witch Spotters of Albion did conceal the torso of one Lady Grey, formerly mayor of Bowerstone. Certified, blah, blah, blah. There is no more fitting location than the tomb of the infamous bandit Twinblade. May their foul, tormented souls be locked forever within these vaults. We salute the fallen witch spotter comrades who so valiantly fought hordes of hollow men with nothing but pencils and notebooks to make Albion safer. Seems like they could have better prepared.
Yeah, they could have brought clipboards.
Yeah, clipboards make everything good. Also, hello.
Ooh.
This was actually in a hidden wall. Fable 2 has a couple of hidden walls. I don't know them, but that was one of them. I think this zone is meant to be the introduction to the mechanic, because you were able to break down that wall.
It's always funny going through old games like this that have so much content for 100%ing.
Yeah.
Because, like, nowadays, it's one of those things where there's so many, like, small indie games, and there's so many guides online. I mean, there were guides online back then, too.
Yeah.
But, like,
yeah, this game came out in, like, 2009. Like, like, this isn't, like, a super old pre-internet game.
Yeah. But even then, like, it's something that it took a while to, like, fade away. And so a lot of these are designed for just, like, well, you're probably not going to get another game for another couple weeks.
Yeah. Yoink.
I'm not complaining, though. I prefer a world where you just have, like, more cheap games that are complete and don't have extra crap to try and convince you it's a longer game.
Yeah, I'm totally with you on that. Fucking, I absolutely hate having to buy, like, 15 million games in order to get, like, something out of it, and they're just buggy messes that no one fucking likes. Like, wasn't it basically there was, like, competition for who could make the worst fucking game last year, and Cyberpunk won it?
And people still defend it.
Yeah.
That's the thing that drives me nuts, is it's one of those things where there was such an intense FOMO with gaming, and that's something I had to get used to when, like, you know, like, I stopped being a teenager in my parents' house. Like, I started having a job and money, and then you're like, oh, it's not that I can't have games because my parents said I couldn't. It's that I can't have games because they cost fucking money.
Yeah.
And like, you start to get out of the zeitgeist, and the first thing that happens is people stop online gaming, right? You can't keep up with that shit, so you're out. The next one is that you have the wrong console. And then suddenly you're so far behind that you're like maybe 5 years behind on a given game, and you start to have 5 years of reviews to figure out what's good and what's bad. Man,
Thank you so much.
not a lot of good shit's come out recently.
I will say, Cyberpunk is a good game, but, like, I had it for PC, and it ran fine, because I have a beastly PC. So, yeah, it worked. I didn't have much bugs, but, like, when you have to compare the release as a whole, and just my anecdotal evidence saying that, oh, it wasn't a buggy mess, how could it be a buggy mess? It's fine. That doesn't amount to anything.
Exactly.
Because I only saw one thing, which was it worked fine. Meanwhile, there are millions of other reports saying that it was a buggy mess. So you gotta go with the masses on that one.
And honestly, for the past several years, all the good stuff that's come out has either been stuff that's stripped down that you can play on a normal machine, or it's been stuff that released functionally for all consoles uncontroversially, or it's indie. You know, it's a small game that you didn't have to pay $80 for.
Yeah.
So much of the AAA stuff, if you aren't playing it within a year of it coming out, the support for like half of the mechanics, which are like online only internal stuff, starts to fail.
Yeah.
And you're like, have you played a game where they update for the meta, but you're like 5 years late and it's 5 years of meta updates? They're garbage.
Yeah. Meta updates are kind of trash. I'm super glad that I don't play many competitive games.
Like,
or even games that require shifts in meta. You know, like, oh, this class is overpowered, and we need to, you know, if you take these abilities, you're basically broken. It's like, no, I'm just gonna play this one class and be totally fine.
But it's also the Skyrim issue, right? Like, you're allowed to release a game done. They haven't released that much new fucking DLC for that game or anything. All they've done has basically been like
Re-released it a
performance
million
issues,
times.
release available on this new piece of technology. It's like, look, we don't give a shit if you can play Skyrim on PS5, because you know what? I can play it on PS3 and it runs the same. It runs the same.
Yeah.
You know what I can't play on PS3? Elder Scrolls 6.
Wait, did Elder Scrolls 6 release?
Nope, that's why I can't play it.
Oh, okay. I was like, when did that... I don't remember hearing anything about that. Okay, there's a lot of autograph cards in this grave, and now I'm kind of curious. To Warner...
I do like the fact
really?
that, like...
Okay,
like
no, Will, I need to interrupt you right here. They specifically put a dig spot in front of a grave that has a fuck ton of autographs, but then there's no joke on the grave.
Wait, hold on. So show me them both again?
It's too worn away to read. It's too worn away to read. Like, there are jokes scattered around here. I'm assuming about developers or something. And then, like, you don't put a thing on the only dig spot in this entire zone. That makes me mad. You can't make someone out to be, like...
I wonder if that's their placeholder and they ran out of time.
Oh,
so there's just,
my
like,
God.
random graves with info, and then all the default ones just say they're too worn away to read.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. Like, that genuinely just made me mad, because I'm like, you just failed at a joke. Like, oh, now we're going into Lady Grey's tomb. So even though she was, like, cut up, split apart into 3 pieces, she still has a tomb.
Yeah.
This tomb containing her head. We need to get this dude some head.
At least this game didn't release with an announcement 1 month prior saying, we regret to inform you that the much-awaited gravestone... all the much-awaited, like, gravestone updates are gonna have to be dropped.
Oh, no. Yeah, that would suck. That would be disappointing.
Or you can only read the gravestones on PC.
The gravestones actually launch you into the sub-ocean on console.
I heard that apparently they might have an illegal glitch. Like, they might have a glitch that's actually a crime.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there's a number of rules in a number of countries about, like, how games are classified, and a lot of the time the difference between, like, an M-rated game and, like, an adult-rated game is specifically about genitalia in the player space.
Yeah.
So, like, some people are mad about the game being like, well, you put all this stuff into, like, custom junk, but you can't just walk around with your dick out. It's only available in, like, this one screen.
Yeah, Saints Row had that years ago. What the fuck?
Mm-hmm. But, like, apparently there's glitches where sometimes, like, that'll fail and you can see the junk, but that means that there's now genitalia in the player space, which means they have to legally change the rating of the game, which they're not going to do that individually when a glitch happens. If they could, they probably wouldn't have the glitch happen.
Yeah, exactly. Not bad looking considering it's 500 years old. Yeah.
I think I have that Iron Maiden t-shirt.
You know, I think we met this person in Fallout.
Yeah.
All right.
I think that guy sold me a gun that shoots bears.
Oh, how these beautiful, glassy eyes stared at us as we condemned them to an eternity in this hollowed underground chamber that she had the temerity to name after herself. Unnerving clicking sounds echo all around us, and the sand seems to writhe with life. Dear Avo, I hope it's not beetles. It's beetles! What do you know? Oh no, what are we gonna do against beetles, Will?
You know, I'm only realizing this now. After The Mummy came out, they had this moment in games like this for like a decade straight.
Oh god, yeah. The Mummy was so influential for that. In fairness, because it's a fucking great scene. I love The Mummy. Yeah. I would rather watch The Mummy over Indiana Jones any day of the fucking week.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a dig at Indiana Jones. I fucking love Indiana Jones as well. But, like, The Mummy is just so fucking good.
I'm used to seeing movies like that, like when they come out, and then when they're a meme, getting around to seeing it and going, okay, I guess I'll watch that again. Or it'll be on Netflix and it just pops up. And with The
Yeah.
Mummy, I hadn't seen it like since close to when it came out. Whenever I watched it on VHS, whenever that was.
Yeah.
And like I'm seeing the memes, and it's like, oh, my Bi Awakening, my Bi Awakening. I'm like, I don't remember this. So
So you had a solid Bi reawakening, did you?
I mean, as usual, the internet's gonna overblow it. Someone's
Yeah.
gonna take the joke a bit too far, and you're like, okay, this isn't that insane. But like, I rewatched the movie expecting to be like at least mildly underwhelmed, because like,
Yeah.
you know, lower your expectations. But it holds up.
It holds up
Real good.
really well. Their special effects is amazing. There's
Especially-
a video by the Corridor crew that basically breaks down the VFX in the first Mummy movie. And, like, they tried. They fucking tried. And they did a really good job with what they accomplished. Like, that wasn't... Like, the thing the Mummy was always sort of panned for was it's like, it's a low-budget Indiana Jones ripoff, right?
Mhm.
But, like, no one considers it that now. But...
The more that I hear people being like, oh, it's a low budget ripoff of this, the more that I think, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that most people who enjoy that thing
It
are
also
gonna go,
wasn't low
"More
budget.
this."
It
No.
also wasn't low budget at all. It, like, the VFX are incredible in that movie.
I think that people just confuse it with its sequels, because the
Yeah.
sequels are famously the opposite. Like, there's that one picture of like The Rock turning into a scorpion thing.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, they rip on that. That one is still not doing so hot.
I love the transitional CG stuff,
Yeah.
because like half the time they probably were like, yeah, this was going to work great, and on a CRT it worked fine, but like on an LCD, now that you're doing like scans of the tapes, not so good.
Not so good. Not so good.
What I find
Oh,
wild
neat.
is when you see like horror movies that were made from back then, and like because it's like a digital version of what was originally supposed to be like on a VHS or movie theater screen or something,
Yeah.
instead of a tense screen where something could be anywhere, you just see like a very obvious outline of something that like now appears because of contrast.
Yeah. Where's my dog? Where the fuck is my dog? My dog is barking. Where are you? Alright, take 2 of digging a grave and getting a joke out of it. Let's see what we got. Come on, condom. Oh, it's just a bag of money. You couldn't have put a producer's name there or something? Like, come on. It's like
What
you're
if
not
they,
even
like-
trying to make jokes.
What if they just like fired a couple people before the game came out?
Okay, that is a possibility that I had not considered. Ooh, skill potions. Ooh. Pure experience extract.
Imagine
I
you're
will.
like, you're someone who's like higher up in this game, like someone doing admin background work, mostly like almost secretarial, being like, hey, writing people, this is due this time, hey, I'm double checking it on this project.
Yeah.
And like, you're the person going, hey, we got 3 months left till the end of the game, make sure to submit your gravestone requests. And then like, hey, 1 month left, make sure to submit your gravestone requests. Hey, sorry to keep bothering you, 2 weeks until the gravestone requests are in. And then you get one like a week before, 3 days before, a day before, and then 2 days later. It's like, hey, if anyone had any last requests, we have a few extra days of development, we could squeeze it over the weekend to get this done. And then the game's
just
released,
no one
and
sent
then they
it.
get the emails. Hey, where's my gravestone?
I didn't get a
Did you submit your
gravestone.
request?
There we go. I'm just gonna drink some potions, don't mind me. I wish I could drink multiple in one instance, but apparently not. It has to give the animation of, you know, Orbeez flying out of me.
Mhm.
We're gonna
One thing
have
that
so
bugs-
much XP after this.
One thing that bugs me is when you're like, you're looking at like an email or a message or something, and it's like it's a bunch of stuff, but it never makes clear what the deadline is. And
Oh
then,
yeah,
like,
no, I
you
never
put it
get.
in the back. You put it in the back of your mind. You're like, okay, I don't know what's I don't know what's going on, but I'll get this done soon. Okay, and then like afterwards, it's like, all right, we're closed, and it's like, but hold on, no, what? What?
I'm sorry. Did you say closed? No, 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 no. I need whatever's going on there. There we go. I like that I'm impressing people by drinking potions.
To be fair, imagine like someone comes out of a graveyard, sits on like a curb, and then drinks like 10 straight bottles of like Brain Force Plus. You'd start watching.
Yeah, he's just sitting there chugging G Fuel. Like, this isn't even worth it. These aren't giving us all that much XP.
I know.
It's like, you know what? Okay, they're giving a little bit. We'll be able to buy some shit after this. Thunder's Strength Potion. So even Thunder got something named after him in this game.
But anything from Whisper?
I don't actually think that Whisper is ever mentioned. Ever
Wow.
again in the series. Like, feel free to look that up. I don't think she's ever mentioned again.
For the sake of our joke, I have to now.
Yeah, I know, right? I kinda want you to Google around and see what's going on with that.
Tappity toopity.
Striking.
Tippity tappity, let's see what we get for abilities.
Oh, first appearance, Fable. Last appearance, Fable 2 mentioned. Let's see
Ooh.
what that mention is.
Yeah, let's see what that mention is. Okay, so we've mastered Dexterous Styles. We can't get any more of that. What? How bad?
Do
How bad?
you want the short version or the long version?
Let's go with the long version.
All right, so Fable, not Fable 2, but Fable.
Uh-huh.
Whisper is mentioned by Weaver when the hero of Oakvale is first brought to the Heroes Guild, being referred to as one of their brightest young pupils. After the hero is awakened by her, Whisper mentions that he talks in his sleep, and the fact that he's short is unexpected. She shares with the hero when he's a boy because of also rival relationship. Whisper the hero battles against each other with a few quests. The hero completes the arena. Whisper joins another ballerines, bandits, uncontrollable. Even the mighty Rack and Nox only be pitted against each other with fights at dash. Player can choose to kill Whisper and earn 10,000 gold. She play the lost chapters. She's not the Whisper here. If the player lets the Whisper the Oracle. Stats: Whisper, health, experience, renown, strength, weaknesses, sharpening, and augmentation. Okay. Fable 2.
Okay. Thanks for that
On a-
recap.
On occasion, a child will ask a male NPC in the game to read them the story of Whisper, for it is their favorite.
Oh,
That's it.
that's it?
That's it.
That's so tragic. Oh my god, she gets shit on. There's nothing new here. We have all of that. What about you, weapons trader?
Like, they forgot.
Yeah. They
You call
include Thunder, but they don't include the character's like romantic interest. Like, yes, you can get married to people and all that other shit in Oh, I'm not buying those. I'm not buying more potions. Fuck that. Like, yeah, you can get married to people in Fable and have sex with them and do whatever, but like the only character you actually get story connection to is Whisper. And it's implied that there is a romantic relationship if you do like all good and no Whisper should be ashamed like we did.
Like, that's the thing that's crazy is like there's all of that, and yet there's all kinds of what was I gonna say, stuff in relation to Thunder. Even though in the first game The description of his PC was basically like a hero in the guild, comma, Whisper's brother.
Yeah.
He exclusively showed up in context of Whisper.
Yeah.
Like, either about her, or telling the main character something about her, or being like, we need to go help Whisper.
Yeah. Or if you're evil, you hurt my sister. You hurt Whisper. Yeah. I'm gonna hurt you. You killed my sister. I'm gonna kill you. Like, Thunder is pathetic. No one likes Thunder. No one's favorite character is, oh, Thunder. Thunder's great. Fuck Thunder.
They still keep Teresa, even though basically she like had 3 lines and then like,
hello brother,
alluded to,
I knew you were gonna bring me chocolates. It's just like my dream. You know, the one where we got murdered.
It's gotta sting an extra amount. Like, your sister dies and you don't even get a twist. You're specifically being led around by the person who managed to, oh, but I actually survived, on the other hero. But they're like, look, I don't know if I got some bad news here.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some weird shit with Teresa lore-wise, because she's in literally every game. Even though this is like hundreds of years difference between games, she is in every single game. And I think if you go to the Shadow Council in this, due to laziness by developers, they reused her model and just put it all black with like a somewhat translucent filter on it to be like, we are the Shadow Council spirits, and everyone's like, oh, Teresa must be one of the Shadow Council. And they thought that for fucking years. They thought about that until one dude was streaming it and a developer came into the stream and just went, nah, we were just fucking lazy. So for years there was this massive theory that she's somehow like part of the Shadow Council and like sucking the souls of people to like increase her longevity and her like lifespan. And it's just like, nope, there's no tie there. Just lazy as shit. Alright, here's your head, dude.
It is weird how like so much fantasy around this time was obsessed with like obscene power and like immortality.
Oh yeah.
Like, so many of them just have these characters that are like, oh, I'm also a hero who isn't saving the day, but is also just mysteriously and intangibly way more powerful than you could ever imagine.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. There's some like weird level of obsession with just like, I don't want to die. That's my character motivation.
Yeah.
So, okay, we should probably pay attention to this, because this will choose what we do to fuck with this dude. So, it's a love spell. Whoever she sees when she first wakes up will be the one she falls in love with. So you see the fuck move? Do you see the fuck with him move, and are we choosing it?
It's too bad there isn't a third option. Because like if I were in this situation, I would be like, honestly, feel free.
Hello. She's looking a lot better. Her ribs are intact. Hello. Nice dress.
Oh, my sweet lady. How do you feel?
I love the trope of the arms sticking out.
Oh yeah.
Because I thought it was like a goofy thing in reference to old zombie movies until I found out, no, that's a really fucking scary thing corpses do sometimes.
It was me who...
Did you know that?
What? Sorry?
The arm thing.
What about the arm thing? I zoned out for a second looking at Lady Grey.
Like, you know how like zombies and like Frankensteins, which I realize
Yeah.
you use the monster, but like, you know what I'm fucking talking about.
Yeah.
Come on, please.
Okay,
stop
I'm
with
gonna
that.
leave. I'm gonna let him have his sad life. We didn't fuck Lady Grey in the last one. We won't fuck Lady Grey in this one.
Yeah, I'm not really sure about that.
Yeah, just leave him to his sadness.
But yeah, apparently sometimes corpses after death, it's like they've studied it and they're like, apparently it's just sometimes when your brain decays and fizzles, the chemicals will like make little interactions. So it's like nothing's actually happening. It's like your brain and spine are melting a little bit.
Yeah.
But like it'll just jolt, and like I think it's within like it doesn't always happen, but it sometimes does, and if it does, it's within the first like 24 to 48 hours or something. But like that's what it's called. It's the Lazarus reflex.
Ah.
Both your arms will just go sunk forward out for like a bit of a second, and then they like fall down crossed over.
Oh, neat. I would also like to point out that there was nothing consensual about that relationship.
Nope.
Literally using a love potion.
Mm-hmm.
She literally was like, "You're an ugly man, but like, I'm weirdly into it." Like, there's nothing consensual about that relationship in the slightest. All right, continue.
If we were going to sit here and actually try and critique everything that's like vaguely problematic about these games, we probably would just not have played Fable.
We wouldn't have even gotten through the first episode.
It's kind of funny how like that love potions are another thing where like for a while people are like, yeah, love potions, sure, yeah, love potions, sure. And it's like it's like no one realized it until someone said it, and someone's like, hey, isn't that kind of rapey? And then people are like, what do you mean? And it's like, you know, chemically making someone attracted to you, a lot like how, you know, we have this epidemic of people running around in bars and slipping things in people's drinks, kind of like that.
Oh, yeah.
And then people kind of going, oh.
Yeah, it's
and then one person
pretty
jumps
fucking
in. It's
scum.
like, you're ruining my childhood.
It's like, yeah, well, your childhood needed to be ruined. Let's be real. Look at all these fucking hearts.
What I find funny when people make those comments is like, how fragile is your childhood?
Right?
And if it's that fragile, how is it only now it's getting ruined?
There we go. We're getting 60% less from this bar. Because reasons.
Yeah. We do not need this much money.
We do not need the money.
We have purchased all the things we could want.
You there? Just the kind of fellow I was hoping to run into.
In a bar? Oh, wow. Look at how magical we are now. Holy shit. We're so blue, daboo-dee-daboo-die.
Nice. Hold on, show me your face. So she's called Mrs. Spade. Is there a joke there, or is it just because she looks like a shovel?
I think it's her hat. I don't think there's a joke.
She looks like a shovel.
Yeah. Hang on, I'm stealing from this bar. Okay.
Hello?
Hello, everyone.
I make 100,000 every couple seconds.
Hello, my
I'm
child.
taking your rancid anchovy.
I'm taking your rancid anchovies, and I'm trying to get the fuck out. Uh-huh.
Is it just me, or does the whole thing about, like, not being
Bye,
around and just giving your family money, and then they come back, they're like, oh, you're such a great dad. That seems like such a, like, workaholic cope.
Yeah. Yeah, it really kind of does, doesn't it? Anyway, we need to go to Wraithmarsh. Anyway, I need to avoid my child who's running after me.
Look, for the time period, we are being exceedingly nice to our kid.
We're being exceedingly nice to everyone. They're living in homes that I am lowering the rent on. Like... Wait, oh, we don't have the region. Okay, we need to travel to Wraithmarsh then.
Look, kid, I haven't sold you. I haven't sent you against your will to be a monk for the rest of your life. you're fine.
You're good,
fine.
kid. You're good.
I
You'll
haven't
fucking
sent
live.
you at the age of 12 alone to settle like a wooded area with a couple of other 12-year-olds. You're fine.
I didn't marry you off to secure a bloodline.
That is like my favorite thing to learn about from his that I learned about recently, like in history, is in like the French aristocracy area, there were tabloids everywhere.
Really?
Yeah, well, because like it was just so obvious and transparent that like all these relationships were power relationships. Everyone knew, including them. Everyone knew that kings and nobles had mistresses. It was known.
Yeah.
Prostitution was rampant. And because of the amount of power that nobles had, it's one of those things where people don't realize it, but it's like you were just so rich that in like the year 17 something, you were like, well, what are you going to do?
What are you gonna
Execute
do
me?
about it?
I'm going to fuck a guy and you're going to stop complaining, all right? And so, like, it's wild learning about this stuff where they're like, yeah, people would be like, oh, this person was this person's roommate. But then it's like anyone who actually looks at what was being published is like, oh, yeah, everyone was cheating on everyone all of the time. Basically, all of these were marriages of convenience where both people were, like, rambunctious sex pests.
I like that phrase more than I thought I would. Rambunctious sex pest is such a good descriptor. I want to have that descriptor. That sounds amazing.
I mean, when I describe my preferred relationship style, I like to go with penis bandit.
Penis bandit works, but you know, rambunctious sex pest is just so goddamn good.
I feel like rambunctious sex pest implies you should be fired, whereas penis bandit implies that you're trying and it's a little pathetic. Which, like, I feel like if you're gonna be saying anything that makes you sound flattering, you gotta lampshade it. Otherwise, you just sound like a cock.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Oh.
I do find it kind of funny how they're just like very slowly, barely managing to hit you, and then it's just like the only thing hitting you is just there's.
This is stupid fucking lightning that they cast. I hate their stupid fucking lightning. It hurts.
Apparently, it's the only thing they've got against you.
Apparently, it's the only thing that's done damage. It's almost killed me a couple times.
You looked awfully familiar killing hollow men.
So yeah, we're back with Max and Sam. Oh, good, a Java potion.
Go on.
Are these the necromancer people?
Yep, the Normonomicon.
I wasn't sure if that was this game or the last game.
I think they actually come up in the next game too. I think these are just normally recurring pathetic characters.
Slaughtering everything in its path.
I do love those so much.
Please, if Mother finds out.
Recurring pathetic characters are just really good jokes. You live for them to have a redemption arc, right? Like, where they're just stop being, like, they're just a little bit less pathetic. So apparently these guys, these fucking idiots, released a bandit in the middle of Bloodstone, so it's in the city, and killing people. And so we need to go and kill it.
Oh, you rascals. I better clean up your mess for you.
They're such fucking idiots. I love how stupid they are.
It's also really funny because it's one of those things where like they are capable of every other step of raising the dead except for like
The part that's
basic-
most important.
yeah, like basic checking to see if it's gonna work.
Yeah. They're the difference between like developers and programmers. Like they just write code and run it. They don't think if it's gonna run or not. Hello, Banshee.
you're sitting there like, you've raised the dead in the middle of a town. You're responsible for the deaths of hundreds. They're like, listen,
Teehee!
I just did what W3 schools told me to do.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much their vibe in a nutshell to me. God, nothing on W3 schools ever works. It's the fucking Yahoo of coding. Like, if ever you're doing web development, know that W3 schools is the Yahoo of web development. And nothing else. It will never be anything more. So, that Banshee was actually really fucking easy to kill this time around.
Yeah, I guess we just had the Banshee sauce.
Yeah, just blop, blop, blop.
We just had to drizzle it on there.
Yeah. Like,
well, is it a Banshee sauce or is it a Banshee marinade? Also, is this more of like a, like a wet rub or a dry rub where you put it on while it cooks, or is this something that like you make on the side and then drizzle with the Banshee?
I feel like it's a Banshee spread.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like Banshee on toast.
Yeah, exactly. A little bit of fried Banshee.
Excuse me, could I get the Banshee on the side? Thank you.
Terrors, you better not have caused any trouble.
Banshee sauce is just this really, really specific sauce that's used for one breakfast item that you have to learn at culinary school.
Marmite?
See, I was thinking hollandaise. People are always like, oh, hollandaise, and you're like, oh, hollandaise. I don't know about that sauce. They're like, oh, it's on Eggs Benedict. I'm like, is it? Have you ever used that on anything else?
Yeah, I fucking hate hollandaise sauce. I hate Eggs Benedict. Don't like it. Hate all of it.
I feel like a lot of the time you come across these recipes and it's like you need to take a moment where it's like, is this something that I'm eating because it has, like context and baggage, or do I actually enjoy this, And sometimes I wonder with people like eating steaks is like, are you eating a steak because this is a symbol of like success and wealth? Do you really just want to eat an entire slab of animal that tastes the same? And this is coming from someone who loves steak. There are people who are weird about steak.
Oh god, yeah. So I apparently have a lot of renown coming my way. Alright.
They're the same people who seem to think bacon is magical. Which, like, I like bacon, but it's a really specific kind of meat, and it's highly fatty. There are other breakfast options.
Yeah, you have better breakfast options. You don't need to suffer with just bacon. We've almost mastered time control, and I love that. Okay.
Imagine you're one of those people who jumped in on the bacon craze. You had, like, $5,000 of extra cash that you wanted to spend, so, like, you funded a small like production line and you started advertising like bacon flavored band-aids hoping they would sell, and then they did, and that's all you needed to have like capital to keep starting businesses the rest of your life. You're like at a rotating lounge at the top of like a tall skyscraper dining with other people. They go, so how did you make your millions? And you go, it all started with bacon flavored band-aids.
I just really hate the idea of bacon-flavored Band-Aids.
I didn't make that up as a...
I know. I know you didn't. It's specifically because I know you didn't, because I can see that existing, and I hate everything about it. So, we've shot a few gargoyles, right? You get treasure for this, and I am going to go and collect that treasure before we go and talk to Reaver, because I kind of want to do that. I want to do that at least at some point this stream. I feel like we've impressed him enough that he will probably give us a little pat on the head, say good job everybody. Now where the hell is it?
One of these days we're going to be paying close enough attention to this game that it isn't just like, oh, major plot point. So anyways, back to bacon band-aids.
But it's telling me to go to Bowerstone Market now, but it just told me to leave Bowerstone Market.
We're heading for him, right? He was
No, we're not heading for him. I'm trying to get to the Gargoyle Cave to get some like treasure, because I think it's like every 10 gargoyles or something like that, you get a little reward. And then at 50, it's probably like a stupid joke weapon. But I don't think I'm gonna hunt down all 50 of them. I just don't care enough. Yeah. Okay. Where are you leading me? You are leading me into here. Yeah, I just followed it in the opposite direction.
I love
somehow
how like the march of progress is consistent and ever onward, but that doesn't mean that it's all good progress. It doesn't mean that it's bad progress. It's just that like every decade there's like an earth-shattering invention that changes everything, and between each of those inventions it's stuff like bacon flavored band-aids.
Yeah, bacon flavored
like
band-aids.
the iPad came out and they were like, yeah, like from Star Trek, and then since then they've been adding features that people realize they don't actually want for like 10 years.
Turns out I don't need Facebook installed on my iPad. I don't need it installed on anything. I don't use Facebook. It's
funny because, like, there's tablet people. There's just tablet people. There's some people where they're like, I want a tablet, and it's the only thing that'll do. And I don't understand because my parents have had tablets. I've been, like, around them and been like, here, let me look something up on that real quick. And it's just like, it is not good enough to be a laptop, and it's too big to be a phone. I don't want it.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. So that's that. We need to make some steps. Here's a book, doggy. You can now growl. Congrats. Although he already does that whenever enemies are near, so like, who the fuck knows? I want to build a bridge. This is a very difficult puzzle, by the way. Very, very difficult puzzle. Very challenging. I think I actually need to have a certain number unlocked in order to build this bridge, and then the final one is like getting the last bit across. Potion of Life, what do you do? Okay. I don't know if that just gives me more health or it like prevents me from dying.
I feel like normally you have these big, elaborate, like, stories of humility and, you get what you wish for kind of stuff about immortality. But the best way to be like, immortality is a stupid concept is something like that, where it's in a game like this, where it's like, you live a year longer, and you're like, that doesn't affect anything to do with my stats or the plot.
Yeah, pretty much. That affects nothing about my life. Okay, these doors are just locked. I need to shoot some more gargoyles in order to get that door unlocked.
But you made little fires.
Made little fires. Look at a little spook fire.
I will say, this is it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they don't go the whole way across, though.
No. No. And they don't even let me vault into the abyss.
It is a really well-designed chamber, though.
It is nice. Good dungeon. Good chamber. Now to swim back to Bowerstone.
Do you think they got the masons to bring the stones in through that tunnel?
Oh. That would suck. Well, I guess you could just kind of like have some people at the bottom, have some people on the top of the bridge, and just like hip it over the bridge, and people at the bottom just kind of go, all right, and then just like go out and grab it and like drag it under and back in.
Maybe they did it like they did a lot of like construction projects in the earlier industrial period where they're like, look, I don't care about the details. Is the mortality rate below 5%? And they're like, it's 4.9. And you're like, perfect.
Good enough.
They're like, there's a hole they call the death hole. It's like,
can we put a railing there? If we put a railing there, we'll go over budget. All right, never mind then. Never mind. Don't put a railing there. Fucking death holes. I love having those spots. I used to work like where there was a death hole and just avoid it. just don't
Yeah,
go. Just don't
It's
go
one
by
of
the
those
death
things
hole.
you don't realize until after the fact. Like, I'm going to have to explain to my kids, yeah, I worked in a movie theater, and you had to throw the garbage in a tunnel. And if you fell in, people probably weren't going to find out because it was a closing and locking door. So you had to make sure that, if any garbage was in there, you took a 2x4, which you better hope it was there. They had a couple of different 2x4s they had picked up out of the junkyard. And you would have to push the bags in, because if you climb in, it's sloped slightly downwards, and it's slick with garbage juice. And that's a trash compactor.
Yeah.
Now you may be asking, but Grandpa, surely there was a grating, or maybe there was a gate system,
No.
or maybe you could... Nope. No, there was not.
Why would there be? Yes, Saladrol, as opposed to alive holes.
You've done all sorts of impressive things, and yet you haven't really done anything that benefits me.
That's the craziest thing, is the alive holes. You see those in, like, rail infrastructure, where it's the opposite of a death hole. It's like, hey, if something happens, crawl into this hole for 20 minutes. I was like...
Hey, we're going to the Shadow Court!
Ooh, we get to see Shadow Teresa's.
And he has a very complicated relationship with them.
So, how about this? You run this little errand for me,
Oh,
and then
hang on, I just got enough money to buy your entire town.
Vengeance or riches or whatever it is that floats your particular boat. The item I need returned is just there. See?
A little seal.
See that little objet d'art?
Yeah, this doesn't look ominous at all. Yep.
I love video game object names.
There's a good lad.
Especially because sometimes they'll give the game away entirely. Like, imagine somebody passes you a plain silver ring and it's like, hey, I need you to bring this back to my friend. She left it at my place last night. She lives in this location. You're like, okay. And then you pick it up, and, like, somehow in your mind of minds, you're like, ring of greater enchantment.
Rip, another artist dead.
The Shadow Court. It was they who destroyed Oakvale. There is a deep well in the center of Wraith Marsh, made of tombs.
There's a part of me that's like, you'd
That
think
is
the
where they
artist would
reside.
stop coming.
You'd
But there's
think.
also a part of me that's like,
There is more to this task.
the joke is that nobles did shit.
Yeah. The joke is that nobles just shot people, because fuck it.
I love hearing the justifications for these systems, because some of them actually sound really compelling. Like, you think about monarchies, and you think about all the failures, but if someone were to tell you, what if we have a system where we have, like, someone who's trained literally from birth to be, like, the perfect ruler? You would be like, you know what? I could see how that would work. And then it's like, oh.
Oh, wait, no. Oh, wait,
This
no, that's a
person
bad
was
idea.
born, and now they're already born, and it's becoming increasingly obvious that they are not suited for this position. What do we do?
Oh, no. We're basically screwed at that point. Oh, the blacksmith's not here. Damn it. Can't buy even better guns from him. Ooh, treasure, though. Oh, wow, didn't even see that. What's in the box? Oh. We already have that. Alright, moving on.
You just, like, take the hat out, close the box, leave the head it was on behind.
Yeah. Send it to the Bowerstone graveyard. It's just like, here, if you ever want a friend, reanimate this. If your wife ever gets, lonely. Oh, yay, a steel flintlock pistol. That's great.
Could you imagine you die in a car crash? You're like, oh no, I'm dead. And then you wake up in a bucket next to a necromancer's bed.
I remember I used to think that the lighting in this game was like next generation. Because look, sunbeams.
Yeah.
And in fairness, that's pretty fucking good lighting.
In fairness, it was.
Yeah, like that's pretty good lighting.
That's the wildest thing about like watching this game go on. Is like now I can see just how janky and cruddy all of this is. But I remember when this came out and I saw it and I was like, whoa!
Whoa! They have lighting effects. What the shit is that?
It's crazy that like lighting and particle effects are a recent invention.
Yeah. Remember Tress effects?
No.
Tress effects was something that was made popular for Tomb Raider. It was specifically a engine, something like that, for the animation of hair. And so you could have like individual, like not individual strands, it was still like clumps, but you could have like much larger, like more dynamic hair instead of like, this is the side hair, this is the front hair, this is the back hair. It was like, here's you know, the left bang, here's the right bang, here's the ponytail. You could have all that shit. That was the main selling point of Tomb Raider. Not these guys again. Go away. I can't draw my gun again. I want to draw my gun. There we go.
And bam. Come on, slam. Welcome to the gym.
Keep trying to hit me. Okay, if I do 3-star, they can't hit me with the lightning. I can charge fast enough that they won't hit me with it.
There we go, we found the cheese.
I always find it. Every time. There isn't a single game that I can't cheese my way out of. I mean, will find the cheese.
To be honest, that's why you were really useful for helping test Blood 1.
Yeah, I broke some of those boss fights real bad. And I would feel bad, but like...
That's what I wanted you to do.
Honestly, we were on the road to a TPK in some of those fights.
Yep.
Like, if I hadn't broken them, I think we would have been TPK'd.
Well, and that's the thing, right, is like, some of the early playtests for that game, it would be straight up things where I would come in and be like, hey, so, I'm going to test a monster, so just so you know, going into this fight, this is a situation where if I kill you, you get to tell me it's unfair and I bring you back and change the stats. Like, I'm the one making the broken monsters now. The tables have turned.
Yeah. And in fairness, you've never killed any of my characters. Like,
that is true.
Like, without discussion of, like, I want this character to die, let's discuss how we can do that.
To be fair, you've come really close. Like the one time, it was during the bear-wolf fight.
Yeah.
One off from literally having to make a death roll 4 sessions in.
Yeah. I got a little bit cautious after that. Cautious is a good way of describing that. Alright, so we have maxed out health now.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing we can go for now is sort of just physique and like damage and brutal styles, but I don't really care about that. I want to go for the accuracy and speed for like the general XP.
Yeah,
but
I think maybe like once we've got absolutely just too much XP to do anything useful with, we start going into brutal styles. Because I mean, I want to see what the guy does when he does music in a different genre.
Yeah, exactly. Also, I want to switch to the blunderbuss. I'm just feeling a blunderbuss.
What's the point of buying like every weapon in the game if we can't be like, oh, give me the other one?
Like we're fighting
making...
we're fighting enemies that take multiple hits to kill, and it's just like, I want big blammo. I want to feel the big blammos. They're so good. Well, this looks ominous.
See, I'm realizing more and more that like that's what our hero is. There's the hero of skill, the hero of will, hero of might. We're the hero of audacity. We're the hero who shows up with like 3 mules and 2 assistants carrying all of our weapons. We're not even paying attention to the monster. We're just using the same spell over and over and over while like checking our makeup in the mirror.
Oh, there is another thing back there. There we go. Hey, come back here.
See, like, that kind of audacity will run directly away from the Banshee when it's doing a voice line, and then it has the audacity to try and disappear, and then we go, hey,
Hang
where
on
do
a
you think you're
minute.
going? That's so rude.
Hang on a minute. No, no, no. This is where I kill you.
We're the hero of hypocritical entitlement.
Oh, fuck yeah. Why does this feel so effective? What am I shooting at? Wait, did she die? Oh, I didn't think I killed her. Sweet, bonus. All right. Can I buy this house? Madame Ursula, home for little lost souls. I think that's an orphanage. And that means that that lady was Madame Ursula, and the little things she was summoning were kids. They had some fresh salmon buried in the backyard, because that's a thing.
Yay.
Someone must have come through here recently. If they have
I'd really
fresh
like to
fucking
think-
salmon.
I'd like to think that, like, our dog was barking at a spot in the dirt. We were like, what is it, boy? And they're like, bark, bark. And it's just a hole. And we're like, what kind of treasure will we find? And then we just caught a literal fish with our hand and went, wow, thanks, puppy, and put it in our pocket.
Thanks, Puppo. You did a good job. Jesus, there's a lot in this area. Alright, thanks for the coffee. You know, there didn't need to be this many coffees buried around the world.
Maybe it's like it's a Big Lebowski situation. It's not really coffee. We're just finding Folgers cans.
Perhaps, perhaps. I'd be okay with that too.
Man, this is some good coffee. Folgers is changing their recipe. Dog, not the best time for a dig spot.
You know what, dog? I appreciate it, but gonna have to say no on this one. Okay, this guy's really getting in my social space right here. Yeah, dog, you keep digging. You keep digging there, boy. I'll be there in a minute.
Guys, 6 feet. 6 feet, guys.
6
Guys,
feet, social distance. Where's your mask? I know you don't have a mouth, but you still need to cover your nose. That's right, you can't do your electroshock thing, can you? That's what I thought. You got nothing.
If the... I haven't been working customer service while the pandemic's been happening,
I'm so grateful.
but I have a
haven't.
feeling that the anti-mask people are the same people who are literally like Shaun of the Dead undead, like in front of the glass of your store, waiting for the exact
Yeah.
second you unlock the doors.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I swear to God. And like you would unlock the doors, and then they would do the same thing right in front of you at your till, like trying to maintain eye contact with you while you're like, I know you can see me not doing anything. I am waiting for someone to come here and give me coins. If this is how you want to spend your morning, by all means.
By all means,
At
we
least
can do
I'm
this
getting
shit.
paid.
Blammo feels good. Blunderbuss was the right choice for this area. Can I swim out here?
It is kind of wild on the tail end of the pandemic, seeing how many fast food places are like unable to find workers because like for decades they've been acting under the assumption that like you can't really fight for any kind of standard of living in that kind of job because they could just fire you and hire someone else.
Yeah.
But I think they ran the cycle too many times. And now they're actually not finding people and looking back and being like, what do you mean you don't want to work for us anymore? What do you mean?
What do you mean? It's fine. It's just like, no, I'll just work Uber instead. I'll go Uber Eats instead. Just deliver people's food.
What if we give you 2 pizza parties a year?
Pizza parties. Yeah. Thankfully, I never worked at a fast food joint long enough for pizza parties.
Mm-hmm. Who's laughing now? Now I'm making slightly more than minimum wage.
Fuck
and
yeah.
I might not have health insurance, but I don't have pizza parties either, so take that. I also don't technically have like paid leave or anything like that, but it's one of those things where if I tell my boss, hey, I can't do this today, can I get it done tomorrow? He says sure. So I think that's pretty good.
That is pretty good. I thought I remembered there being a like hidden wall in that room. I must be misremembering. Oh, there it is. Found it. Yoink. I'm looking for anything where my character goes, you can now afford this ability. Ah, yay, Shadow Hobbs.
If you were to come up to me and say, hey, drink this potion. I found it in a crypt. It'll give you an experience. I don't think I'd drink it.
Yeah, I don't think I would drink it if you described it that way either. That just sounds awful. That sounds absolutely terrible. Doggo says treasure. Where's treasure, Doggo?
Breakable.
That worked. Mine. Thanks, Doggo.
Wait, why is this chest mossy?
I don't know. It must have been, like, relocated. Like, it was somewhere else mossy and then just kind of brought inside. Okay, what do we got here? Okay, it's literally just opposites. Difficult puzzle.
Actually putting that together would probably be really difficult. Like, sure, that thing's just cycling in and out, but like, it's built with the same technology as the rest of this place, which is still using like stone arches.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, it would be very difficult to build.
Also, it has been continuously going in and out, unoiled, for like centuries.
Yeah, that's pretty quality. Even with like shadow gunk beings being around. I really want to get to wherever that lady is. She sounds like she's having a bad time. And there's another hidden wall. With the silver key? I'm like hidden wall hunting because there is a zone in this game where it just has like a dev room. Like they have like a computer in there and all this other stuff. It's a nod to like the artist team. Oh, they've upgraded to shadow people now.
Oh, I found where it is. Not Whole Island.
Ah, okay. We are not there yet.
Well, now we know we have to make a trip, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we'll go there at some point.
These guys got limbs. They got leggies.
They got janky-ass leggies. Anyone still alive? Oh. We got a one. Oh, damn it. Oh, hello.
At this point, like the distant, terrified weeping, if it's actually a person who's scared and is like, oh, thank God you came, I will eat my hat. Like, I've played video games. Nobody ever Like, if someone actually needed help, they would have just told you, and then you'd get to the end of the dungeon and go, why are these people here? Oh, yeah.
They're here to eat me. Ow!
So what's the principle behind the Shadow Hobbs and Shadow Valkyries? Is it just anything with a soul? Is it just like a template where it's thing but shadow? How do you get them?
I believe it's thing but soul. I believe it's thing but soul. Thing but soul makes sense considering the Shadow Council like does some shady shit.
You're not gonna get like a shadow demon door that like taunts you to open it and then you just walk through and it's like, oh shit.
No, the shadow demon door is actually just kills you and that's it. Congrats, you're an idiot. You walked into the void.
It just goes nyomp. Can you imagine you're getting eaten alive by something like that? And it doesn't even have the dignity to like eat you quietly. It's just like num 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 num.
Yum 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 yum.
You're getting slowly crushed. It's like so tasty, and you're like, oh come on, just eat me normally.
That must be how like chickens feel.
Me and some friends, we were reading from this really old book we found. It had all these strange words. Then there was this bright light, and I woke up here. Where are we? I'm so scared.
Somehow I feel like this is Sam and Max's fault. See? It's the Shadow Council. And they're Teresa. You can see that it's literally just Teresa's model.
Yeah. They got the cowl. They got the shoulder thing. It narrows and the arms are free before you get down into the skirt. It's got the overlays and everything.
Yeah.
But there are two. Only one is required.
So,
One will
yeah.
trade their youth and beauty so that the King of Thieves may retain his.
Yeah.
This is the bargain we honor. The rules cannot be broken.
I feel like it would be really interesting to see these games talk about like the idea that like being a hero or like these prophecies are mostly just a structure that's independent of ethics, and that they'll make you a hero even though you're a bad guy. But
So-
they just don't address it.
Do we give the seal? This is like a time thing. Do we give this girl the seal and so she gets old, or do we keep it and we get old?
Don't we have a potion for that?
Yeah, I think we do, actually. I'll drink it after.
Yeah.
Do your worst. So Reaver's a dick because he didn't tell us anything about this.
You mean the guy who shoots his artists pulled a sneaky on us?
Yeah, we don't really look any different. We got red eyes now.
You just look silverier and foxier.
I know, right?
But when the sacrifices stop, we will come for him. This he knows.
You are truly selfless. You sacrifice yourself for the sake of a stranger.
And now we murder her.
Reaver must be chosen.
It seems like a lot of unnecessary magic for what's basically just like a protection racket.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, let's
Except
tell-
instead of like, do this or we break your shop, they're like, do this or we spooky magic you.
Where the fuck? Do I not go back to talk to him?
That would actually be something neat to see in like a fantasy game, is a bunch of evil mages being like, you know, you could pay us for protection. Otherwise, a lot of unlucky things are gonna happen.
That's our next campaign. We're all just pieces of shit that do that. Oh, I didn't want to go to the road. God damn it. I clicked one few too many times.
This game also does that weird thing of like, oh, good-looking people are good and bad-looking people are bad. It is
Oh
known.
yeah, oh yeah. Fable has always had that stance. Fable has always had that stance. It tries very hard to make the bad look bad and good look good.
Which we know is obviously not true because I'm
Yeah.
here and I am dashingly gorgeous and horribly evil.
Imagine your
Yeah,
return to the
obviously.
world will be eventful. Once we have Reaver, your path leads straight to Lucian. There will be no going back. If you have left anything,
Oh, this is another
now
left
is your last
unfinished thing.
opportunity to resolve it.
So we might do some more resolving, but honestly, I'm not feeling too good right now. So I think we might end the stream off here.
This seems like a really good
Wait.
juncture for it.
Do I not own this? Well, we need to change that. There we go.
There we go.
All right, there we go. Just had to make sure, you know. Heaven forbid there be a property that I don't own.
But we spent so much money. However, will we make it back?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe next time it ticks to give us 11K, which is literally half of what we spent on this. Or, yeah. All right. So next
You know
stream,
you're rich if you can set a timer for the next time you can buy something.
yeah, 5 minutes and I'm good. So yeah, that's gonna be it for streams. Next stream is gonna be on Monday. We're supposed to be playing Baldur's Gate. Last week it was canceled unceremoniously. We'll see if we actually do it this week.
Yeah, you might still be on the wrong side of Baldur's Gate, still waiting for it to open.
Yeah, still waiting for those gates to open. Rough time. If not, we got more Blood Wine coming up on Wednesday. It's gonna be more shenanigans.
I plan on involving at least one barbecue restaurant.
Nice. Nice. I'm gonna order a pizza. All right. Good night, everybody.
See your